right, we're getting some more breaking news that's coming in on the broadcast. BJP workers have clashed and gherawed with former Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramiah after raising slogans against him for celebrating Tipu Sultan with Savarkar images in hand. They had those images of Savarkar. They had black cloth that they were sporting during the Congress MLA's visit, and this happened in the Kodagu district. We're actually showing you those very images as these are BJP workers. You can see Siddaramiah in his car. They're trying to protest because of Siddaramiah going ahead celebrating the Tipu Jayanti. Now they are trying to protest with Savarkar images in their hands, also black cloth to show their mark of protest. This as Siddaramiah was visiting Kodagu district. So these are images that we're playing out on your screens on CNN News 18. First images of this protest that is being reported out of Kodagu. And this is, of course, to do with Siddaramaiah's visit to Kodagu. Once again, the tensions continue to be flaring up in the state of Karnataka. Remember, Siddaramaiah is the former Chief Minister of Karnataka. And during Congress's tenure, he was one to celebrate the Tipu Jayanti. And because of this, we'd seen a sort of a belated reaction. However, we do know how Savarkar and Tipu seems to be back in the discourse. And this is something that has had tensions really being flared up in the state of Karnataka, whether it is Shivamogga or Kodagu now. My colleague Ritu, who's brought us that story, joins me on the broadcast. Ritu, could you tell us and explain to our viewers what exactly has happened over here? We can see images on the one side. You can see Siddaramiah being facilitated and garlanded. And on the other side, black cloths and Savarkar images are greeting him.
Yes, so that's the visuals coming in from the Kodagu district where former CM Siddaramiah is on a visit to take a stock of a damage that has been caused in the flooded areas. So that's where you see on the one side the Congress workers in fact are welcoming him, giving a grand welcome in fact in the Kodagu district. But on the other side you see this Hindu organization workers and few BJP workers as well tried gherawing the former CM's vehicle there and also raising the slogans for him against the celebration of the Tipu, and also you see the other slogans with the posters that they are holding in their hands of a Savarkar posters. And not just that, the other side also you see there are posters that are going viral on the social media and are being circulated from the BJP workers as well. It's saying that go back Sidhu Khan. So that's the way that BJP workers are expressing the outrage against the former CM Siddaramaiah for giving that hype and for the continuous celebration of Tipu and for continuously objecting and raising the objection in fact against the Savarkar's portrait and the celebrations across the state. Not just that, you also see across the states now that the celebration was on this 75th Independence Day here in the Karnataka. Most of the districts had witnessed some sort of a violence. There was a controversy that we also got to see from most of the districts, but this is something that is coming in from the Kodagu where you see the workers getting onto the ground and opposing former CM Siddaramaiah for the kind of statements he has also made a few days in fact back where he says that why should there be a Savarkar's poster in the Muslim areas. So with that he has also been facing a flag from the BJP leaders. Now the BJP workers opposing his statement and the kind of a celebration that he takes over.
All right, Ritu, I'd like you to stay on with us and get us a sense of what exactly is happening over there. However, right now joined on the broadcast by Mr. Nasir Hussain of the Congress Party. Mr. Hussain, your first reactions now that your leader has been obviously welcomed with garlands on the one hand, on the other, black cloth being raised against him.
Now, see, in Karnataka, it is quite clear that this government has failed continuously. This is not the Congress Party which is saying. Their own law minister has said, and this audio clips are out. They know that they have failed on all fronts. And anyway, this government has been an illegal government which has been there in power with the help of MLAs crossing over from Congress and Janata Dal and so on. They know they cannot come back to power just on the basis of their so-called achievements and no achievements at all. So they have to resort to these kind of emotional and divisive issues and then try and build up and enthuse their cadres. This is what is happening in India. 64 communal rights, spate of murders, all kinds of divisive statements, all kinds of provocative statements, trying to divide the state on caste and communal lines. This is what is happening, and I'm sure the people of Karnataka are not going to take them lightly. They'll show them the door in the next 7-8 months when the elections are on.
Mr. Hussain, I'd like you to stay on with me. I'm also joined on the broadcast by Mr. S. Prakash of the BJP. Mr. Prakash, I don't know whether you heard the full thing that Mr. Hussain was mentioning, but would you like to respond to what is happening in Karnataka? Because on the one hand, you have a district like Shivamogga where Section 144 was imposed and law and order situation clearly had gotten out of hand. Despite all that, how is the administration and the government in the state allowing something like this?
No, what happened in Shivamogga or Markera you are asking? Because in Markera, the black flag was shown to Siddaramaiah.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Kodak. Yes, I am talking about that, but I'm talking about the state of affairs in the state of Karnataka in general as well.
I will tell you.
Yes.
It is because of the Congress party divisive agenda. This is happening. Needlessly, Siddaramaiah started attacking Veer Savarkar and his credentials, and support, and this encouraged several fundamentalist organizations to tear apart Veer Savarkar flexes and all this created communal tension. Secondly, he said why Veer Savarkar flex should be put in the Muslim area. Is India divided between Muslim and Hindus? Does it not belong to every one of us? Why this division? This divisive agenda is responsible for the communal tension in Karnataka. Would Mr. Nazir Hussain accept the statement of Siddaramaiah that why the flex was put up in Muslim area? Is it not derogatory? Is it not offensive? Does it not divide the people? And Siddaramaiah is not a layman. He is a former chief minister, he is a towering leader in Karnataka for the Congress party. And he is the opposition leader here. Should he not make some responsible comment? Because he should not diffuse the situation by making appeal to the people to maintain peace and harmony.
Okay. Mr. Hussain, would you like to respond to Mr. Prakash?
See, Muslim area, Hindu area, that area, this area is not something which is there in question today. What is in question is, how come all of a sudden after 75 years of Indian independence, a traitor like Savarkar has been accommodated in the line of freedom fighters? Any patriot, any nationalist will not accept Savarkar. Savarkar is the person who he was the proponent of two-nation theory. He is the person who wrote apology letters to the British government. He was the one who surrendered and said that I will not be the part of freedom struggle. I will submit to your majesty, and he became an informer during the time of freedom struggle. And he was accused in Mahatma Gandhi's murder. So Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, upper caste, lower caste, North Indian, South Indian, anybody who has sense, anybody who is a patriot, anybody who is a nationalist will never accept Savarkar as a freedom fighter. He was the one who dissed and who stabbed in the back of the freedom movement at the height of the freedom movement and surrendered to them, and is accused in murder of Mahatma Gandhi. How can you put his poster and remove Nehru's poster, Nehru's